The United States of America, a nation built on ideals, shaped by dreams, and forged in the fires of resilience. It's a story that begins long before the signing of the Declaration of Independence, a story woven from the threads of countless cultures. The resilience of the American spirit is rooted in its diverse origins, a tapestry woven from indigenous heritage, waves of immigration, and the struggles and triumphs that shaped a nation. From the very beginning, the USA has been a melting pot of cultures. Indigenous peoples, the first inhabitants of this land, developed complex societies and traditions that continue to inspire. Waves of immigrants, drawn by the promise of freedom and opportunity, added their unique threads to the fabric of American society. This rich tapestry of cultures, with its blend of traditions, languages, and beliefs, has created a nation unlike any other. The journey of the USA is also a testament to its unwavering resilience. From the Revolutionary War to the Civil War, from economic depressions to social upheavals, the nation has faced numerous challenges. Each time it has emerged stronger, its spirit unbroken, its resolve reinforced. It's a spirit embodied in the words of Harriet Tubman, who, having escaped slavery herself, risked her life to guide others to freedom. "I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger." Long before European ships reached these shores, the land that is now the USA was alive with the stories of indigenous peoples. These were not simply scattered tribes but established civilizations with their own unique cultures, governance, and traditions. They were the stewards of the land, living in harmony with nature and developing complex social structures. In the Southwest, the Pueblo people constructed elaborate cliff dwellings, testaments to their architectural ingenuity and deep connection to the land. The Cherokee, known for their sophisticated language and artistry, thrived in the Southeast. On the Great Plains, the Sioux lived in harmony with the buffalo, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of nature. These civilizations were not frozen in time. They were dynamic and innovative. The Iroquois Confederacy, a league of 6 nations in the Northeast, developed a system of representative government centuries before European contact. The Maya, whose civilization stretched from Central America into present-day Mexico, made groundbreaking advancements in mathematics and astronomy. The indigenous peoples of North America left an indelible mark on the land and its history. Their stories, languages, and traditions continue to echo through the generations, reminding us of the enduring legacy of the first Americans. The winds of change blew across the Atlantic, carrying with them the ambitions of European explorers. Lured by tales of riches and driven by a thirst for discovery, these explorers set sail for a new world. In 1492, Christopher Columbus, sailing for the Spanish crown, reached the Americas, marking the beginning of European exploration and colonization of the Americas. The arrival of Europeans had a profound and lasting impact on the indigenous populations. While some interactions were peaceful, leading to trade and cultural exchange, others were marked by conflict and disease. European diseases such as smallpox ravaged indigenous communities, decimating populations and disrupting their way of life. The Spanish, the first Europeans to establish a permanent presence in what is now the USA, established missions and settlements in the South and Southwest. The French, focused on fur trading, explored the Great Lakes region and the Mississippi River Valley. The English established colonies along the Atlantic coast, laying the foundation for what would become the United States of America. This period of exploration and colonization, while pivotal in shaping the future of the USA, was also a time of great upheaval and tragedy for the indigenous peoples who had called this land home for centuries. By the mid-18th century, the 13 British colonies along the Atlantic coast had developed a distinct identity, fueled by Enlightenment ideals and a growing sense of self-reliance. However, tensions with Great Britain escalated over issues of taxation without representation, culminating in the outbreak of the American Revolution in 1775. The Declaration of Independence, adopted on July 4, 1776, stands as a beacon of freedom and self-determination. Penned by Thomas Jefferson, it boldly proclaimed that all men are created equal, endowed with certain unalienable rights including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These words would resonate throughout history, inspiring future generations to fight for their own freedom. Under the leadership of George Washington, the Continental Army faced formidable challenges, battling not only the British but also harsh weather conditions, shortages of supplies, and internal divisions. Yet, through perseverance and strategic brilliance, they secured victory, securing independence for the fledgling nation. The Constitution of the United States, adopted in 1788, established a framework for a new form of government, a republic based on the principles of popular sovereignty, limited government, and individual rights. The Bill of Rights, added in 1791, further enshrined these freedoms, guaranteeing liberties such as freedom of speech, religion, and the press. Section 5. Westward Bound, Expansion and its Price. The 19th century saw the United States embark on a period of westward expansion, driven by a belief in manifest destiny, the idea that it was the nation's God-given right to expand its dominion from the Atlantic to the Pacific. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803, which doubled the size of the country, opened up vast territories for exploration and settlement. Pioneers, lured by the promise of land and opportunity, embarked on treacherous journeys westward, following trails like the Oregon Trail and the Santa Fe Trail. They faced harsh weather conditions, disease, and conflicts with indigenous tribes, their resilience tested at every turn. The construction of the Transcontinental Railroad in the 1860s further facilitated westward expansion, connecting the east and west coasts and transforming the nation's economy. However, this expansion came at a cost. The forced removal of indigenous tribes from their ancestral lands, often through brutal means, left a dark stain on the nation's conscience. The Indian Removal Act of 1830, for example, led to the Trail of Tears, a forced relocation of Cherokee people from their homelands in the southeast to Indian Territory, which is present-day Oklahoma. The issue of slavery also cast a long shadow over westward expansion. The question of whether slavery should be allowed in newly acquired territories fueled political tensions and ultimately contributed to the outbreak of the Civil War. Section 6. A Nation Divided, the Civil War and its Aftermath. The mid-19th century witnessed one of the darkest chapters in American history, the Civil War. Deep divisions over the institution of slavery, states' rights, and economic disparities between the North and South culminated in the secession of 11 Southern states and the formation of the Confederate States of America. The Civil War, from 1861 to 1865, was a brutal conflict that pitted brother against brother, testing the very fabric of the nation. Abraham Lincoln, elected president in 1860, led the Union through this tumultuous period, his eloquence and unwavering commitment to preserving the Union inspiring a nation. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued by Lincoln in 1863, declared that all persons held as slaves in Confederate territory shall be then, thenceforward, and forever free. This watershed moment redefined the war's purpose, transforming it from a struggle to preserve the Union into a fight for the liberation of enslaved people. The Union victory in 1865 ended slavery, but left the nation deeply divided. The Reconstruction era that followed aimed to rebuild the South and integrate formerly enslaved people into society. However, this period was marked by both progress and setbacks, as racial tensions persisted and efforts to secure equal rights for African Americans faced resistance. Section 7. The Rise of Industry, the Shadows of Inequality. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed an unprecedented period of industrial growth and urbanization in the United States. Innovations in steel production, oil refining, and electricity revolutionized industries and transformed the nation's economy. Cities grew at an astonishing rate, attracting waves of immigrants seeking opportunity and a better life. The rise of industrial capitalism created vast wealth but also led to stark economic disparities. Industrialists like Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, and J.P. Morgan amassed fortunes, while many workers toiled in dangerous conditions for low wages. Labor unions emerged to fight for better working conditions, higher pay, and an end to child labor, often facing fierce resistance from powerful corporations. This period, often referred to as the Gilded Age, was marked by both opulence and poverty. The gap between the rich and the poor widened, leading to social unrest and calls for reform. Progressive reformers sought to address issues such as corruption, monopolies, and social injustice, advocating for government regulation of businesses and social welfare programs. Amidst the economic and social transformations of this era, the United States continued to evolve as a global power, expanding its influence abroad and grappling with its role on the world stage. Section 8, From Global Powerhouse to Cold War Guardian. The 20th century saw the United States emerge as a global superpower, its influence shaping world events and its military might projecting its presence across the globe. The nation's involvement in World War I, while initially met with reluctance, ultimately tipped the balance of power in favor of the Allied powers. Following the devastation of World War I, the United States retreated into a period of isolationism, seeking to avoid entanglement in foreign conflicts. However, the outbreak of World War II drew the nation back into the global fray, its industrial might and military prowess proving decisive in defeating the Axis powers. The aftermath of World War II ushered in a new era of global rivalry, the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union, former allies against Nazi Germany, emerged as superpowers with vastly different ideologies, locked in a decades-long struggle for global dominance. The Cold War was characterized by proxy wars, espionage, and a nuclear arms race that kept the world on edge. From the Korean War to the Vietnam War, the United States intervened in conflicts around the world, seeking to contain the spread of communism and promote its own vision of democracy and freedom. The Cold War also witnessed a space race between the two superpowers, culminating in the United States landing astronauts on the moon in 1969, a testament to American ingenuity and technological prowess. Section 9, The Fight for Equality, Civil Rights and Beyond. While the United States grappled with its role on the world stage, a different kind of struggle was unfolding within its own borders, the fight for civil rights and social justice. The civil rights movement of the mid-20th century sought to dismantle segregation and secure equal rights for African Americans, who had long faced discrimination and disenfranchisement. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X inspired a generation to fight for equality, leading marches, sit-ins, and boycotts that challenged the nation's conscience. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 marked significant victories in the fight for racial equality, outlawing discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. The Civil Rights Movement paved the way for other social justice movements, including the Women's Rights Movement, the LGBTQ+ rights movement, and the environmental movement. Each of these movements sought to address systemic inequalities and promote a more just and equitable society. The journey towards equality has been long and arduous, marked by both progress and setbacks. Yet, the United States has shown a remarkable capacity for self-reflection and change, constantly striving to live up to its ideals of equality and justice for all. Section 10. A Nation in Progress, Facing the 21st Century. As the United States navigates the complexities of the 21st century, it faces a new set of challenges and opportunities. Technological advancements have revolutionized communication, transportation, and the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us. Globalization has created interconnectedness on an unprecedented scale, bringing both benefits and challenges. The United States remains a global leader, its economy, military, and cultural influence shaping the world. However, it also faces internal divisions and challenges, political polarization, economic inequality, climate change, and debates over immigration and social justice continue to shape the national conversation. The resilience of the American spirit, forged over centuries of challenges and triumphs, will be tested once more as the nation confronts these complex issues. The ability to adapt, innovate, and find common ground will be crucial in shaping a future that is both prosperous and just. The story of the United States is still being written. It is a story of continuous evolution, of striving towards a more perfect union, of embracing its diversity while upholding the enduring values of freedom, equality, and opportunity for all. It is a story that belongs to all Americans, past, present, and future, as they continue to shape the nation's destiny.